guys, today I have my Pen Those Eyeshadows finale for you. This is going to be long because I want to wrap up the entire year. Also, I want to continue this challenge. So that means I'm going to show you the products I finished, roll in new products, and also show you all the products I finished or not finished, hit pen on this year. I think I'm going to do the regular update first. I will show you the shades I recently hit pan on and roll them out, roll in some new shades, and then at the end I would just quickly go through the other shades that I hit pan on. And I have a lot, like look at all of those. I think I have a total of 25 shades that I hit pan on through this challenge this year, so that's gonna be a lot. I would put a timestamp down below if you just want to see the yearly wrap up. But let's get started. Because I haven't updated for quite a while now, I believe maybe 2 to 3 months, so I was able to hit pan on 3 out of the 5 shades I was working on last month. So the first one is actually quite exciting. This is from my Urban Decay Light Beam palette, and the color is called Vibe. So this one has been in the project for 2 updates now, and I finally hit pan on it. So you can see it's right there. Not a huge size pan, mainly because I don't like the shade all that much. I think it performs well. It's the deepness that's a little tricky for me because it's too dark for me to be used in the crease. Also, it's a little bit too light for the outer V. So it's just a little hard for me, for my skin tone particularly. So, you know, I'm just glad this one is finally done now. The other 2 shades that I hit pan on are actually rather exciting. They are from the same palette. This is the Essence Fairy Wings and Magical Things palette. Each individual pan in here is humongous. It just has a lot of product inside, and also the color right here, you can see it's very colorful. So it's a little harder to use, I would say, but I was able to hit pan on both of the shades in here. You can see the only 2 pans now. So this lighter purple shade is in the color Wizard's World. So that one I actually just picked it last update. So it's only been 1 update, and I used it all over my lid. So I was able to, you know, use it quite fast because it covers a large surface area. And then I have this shade called Off to Fantasyland right here. This green shade, it definitely gives a green vibe, and I've had it in the project for almost half a year now, so it definitely gave me a lot of trouble. It wasn't all that easy to use, and I got really tired of it at some point, and I just kind of put it away. But finally, now I have a tiny small pan, and I'm so happy to just call it done and never look back. I think this palette overall is pretty interesting. I've liked using those pastel kind of colors so far, but they're definitely not my day-to-day choice. It's a little harder for me to use them. And the 2 shades I wasn't able to hit pan on were both drawn into the project last update. The first one here is my Yes Please palette from ColourPop, and the color that I drew last time was Spoiled, which is this deeper kind of reddish toned matte color. I definitely have a really nice dip going in there now. I think you can see it, but it is a little bit on the deeper side. Also, it's quite red, so I can't really use it in large surface areas, which makes it go down a little slower. I'm kind of okay with it. I think this season you can definitely use a little bit of a deeper tone still, and the reddish color, I just have to be a little bit more careful when I use it. So I'm gonna continue to work on it, and hopefully I will hit pan on it before spring comes. The last shadow that I was working on this month is from Marc Jacobs, and this is the Night Owl palette, and the color that I drew for the project is this greenish color. This one is beautiful, but again, it's just so colorful. It's not something that I can use easily. Plus, it's a little bit on the deeper side. I usually put it in my outer V, and once I have that in my outer V, it really limits my option, you know, color combination wise, because it's hard to use this and, like, for example, the reddish color from here. And I was just not very committed to it, you know, I have to be honest. So I didn't use it a whole lot, maybe just a handful of times. You can see maybe a slight dip, not a whole lot. So I'm a little worried about this. I don't think I'm gonna use this palette or use this shade very fast at all. It might take me a little bit to eventually hit pan on it. So with 3 shades having pan now, that means they're gonna get rolled out. I will roll in 3 more shades. Currently, I have 366 shades without pan in my collection. That's quite a bit, so I'm gonna draw 3 now. All right, so the 3 shades that I picked is 40, 227, and 259. I'm gonna go find them and show you what they are. All right, so actually the 3 shades are not bad at all. I'm pretty happy with the randomizer this go around. The first one here is from my Lorac Pro palette, and I really am happy that I picked this palette because it has some nice usage. I want to use it more, and the color it picked for me is actually Pewter right down here. So that's a very easy and nice to use color. Then I have a trail from Wet n Wild. This is the Knock on Wood trail, and the shade that I picked this time is this browbone shade, which is the lightest of them all. Lighter pink, I think it will be really nice to go into my crease, so this will be nice as well. I would swatch all of the 5 shades together at the end. And the last one picked is from my Marc Jacobs palette again, and this time around it's the palette The Enigma. Right here you can see this palette has some nice usage. I actually finished 1 shade and have pan in 2. But actually this time around I got this shade. It's a kind of lighter slate gray, which could be neutral, so I'm happy about that too. So here I swatched out all of the 5 shades. Sorry about my terrible swatch on my bone now, but it's actually really interesting, don't you think? I think the green is still gonna be hard for me to use, and the red, but if I don't use them at the same time, if I cover the green, you know, those 4 could play nice together. Or if I cover the red, then the rest of the 4 could play nice together too. So that might actually help me out. So let's just go down the shades again. Right here, this is the lighter shade from Wet n Wild Trail Knock on Wood. It's just a very light mauve matte color. And then I have the Marc Jacobs The Enigma palette, and this is the kind of lighter silver color. And I have Pewter from Lorac Pro palette. And then this is Spoiled from ColourPop Yes Please palette. And then I have this green shade from Marc Jacobs The Night Owl palette. So that's all of the 5 shades. I think it could play nice, especially, well, without the green. I really like how those 4 pull together. So that will be interesting. And if you just wanted to see this update, that will be it. I will be working on those 5 shades at this point. And now I'm just going to jump into all of the other shades I was able to hit pan on this year. And there is quite a bit, so let's get started. Let's go with the palette that I kind of showed you already. This is the ColourPop Yes Please palette. I actually picked 1 other shade in this project before, and that is in the color Bling, and it's right here. I actually continue to use it, and you can see the pan is quite large now, so I'm pretty happy about that one. I also worked on a shade from You Had Me at Hello palette from ColourPop, and the color that got picked is in the color Want You Back, which is this deep kind of matte brown shade. It was very easy to use. I just used it in my outer V. And the last shade from ColourPop is from the All I See Is Magic palette, and the color got picked is Pitter Patter, which is this shimmery kind of deeper reddish brown color. It's very easy and nice to use as well. I also worked on my Gwen Stefani palette from Urban Decay. In this palette, I picked 2 shades, so it's harder to hold. So here I have the color Pop, which is a shimmery light pink. It was really powdery and it has a lot of fallout, so I'm not the biggest fan of this. Also, I have the color 1987. This one is a very nice kind of mid-tone gold color. And meanwhile, I actually hit pan on Zone, which is a bonus pan. It did not get picked in this project, but I just hit pan on it because I was using it. I also worked on my Mega Pro 4 palette from Lorac, and I actually picked 3 different shades in this palette. I have Unicorn right here. The pan is a little hard to see because the color is similar to the pan. And also I picked the color Misty Mauve and Silver Fox. So those 2 you can see. This palette, all the pans are really small, so it was actually really easy for me to hit pan on them. And each one of them just took me about 2 to 3 weeks of use. I also worked on my Marc Jacobs The Vamp Palette. In this palette, I had two shades that I was working on. So one is this deeper burgundy color. It's a shimmery shade. Also, here is a matte whitish color. I just used it on my brow bone. And those two are nice too. So I'm happy that I got those two pans. Also, you have seen my Urban Decay Light Beam palette already. In the most recent update, I hit pan on Vibe, but also this color Nudie was in the project at a point too. I had a smaller pan, but now I have expanded the pan quite a bit. It's just a white or light kind of matte color. I also use this on my brow bone. Another Urban Decay palette, this one is the original Naked palette. I picked the shade Smog in here. That one actually went down rather fast. It was very surprising to me. I thought I was gonna have to work on it for quite a while, but I was able to hit pan on it just in a month. I have a single. This one is from Pixie, and this is the color Fairy Light Solo. I'm not sure if they still sell single eyeshadows like this. And I do have the pan right here now, and this is a humongous product, but I just don't think this product performs all that well. The color payoff is really, really bad. So I actually will declutter this product. I also have two shades in my Too Faced Natural Matte palette, and in here I picked Risque and Lace Teddy, which is this deep kind of matte brown color and this kind of nudie pinky color. Also, I had a bonus pan right up here, this white matte color Heaven. So I'm happy with the usage in this palette too. I also picked two shades from my Mally Muted Muse palette. This one is actually really nice. I thought about panning it in 2019, but just never got around to do that. But now I'm just glad I got some sort of head start, and maybe I can pan it, I'm not sure, 2020, maybe 2020 or 2021. I would want to pan this sometime soon. But regardless, the two shades that I picked were Fancy and Illumination. They are both really nice colors. I picked one shade from the Milani Pure Passion palette, and the color is called Sunsets by the Beach, which is this deeper kind of shimmery reddish tone color. The performance is all right. I definitely had hoped for more just because I always felt Milani shadows are good, but this one is just a little like meh. I'm a little torn about this palette. I'm hoping I can work on some other shades in this palette soon so I can have a better feel of the palette overall. If all the other shades don't work as amazing, I might just declutter this palette too. And then I have my Huda Beauty Gemstone Obsessions palette. In this palette, I picked this really deep royal shimmer blue color. That was really hard to use. It took me quite a while to finally hit pan on it. I'm really glad, but yeah, it was tough to use. Also, if you watch my other videos, you might know that WnW Comfort Zone palette is currently in my Pan That Palette challenge. But before it officially became my Pan That palette, I also picked it to be in this project. That confusing. Anyways, I think at that time I actually picked this color right here. I didn't even have pan in it yet, and I hit pan on it, and you can clearly see now that the shade is completely finished. So that's pretty exciting, right? And the very, very last shade here, I did not hit pan on it. I worked on it and realized it wasn't worth my time. It was so terrible, so I just decluttered it. And this is from my Too Faced SemiSweet Chocolate Bar palette, and the color that I picked is Pink Sugar. I have nothing to show you now because I dug it out. It's just not performing whatsoever. So I'm not counting that as one of the pans that I got this go around. So that's basically it. I really, really enjoyed this project this year. I think I started late too. I started kind of sometime in spring. I was really happy with my 20-some pans that I got this year. I'm hoping I can get more in 2020 and have just as amazing of a progress. And I really want to hit pan on a lot more shades in my collection. And maybe 2021, I want to go really intensively actually panning palettes, like finishing them, because at this point I have way too many unused products. So I'm trying to focus on making usage in everything, and then next year I would try to actually finish some things. That's a plan. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's super long, but if you enjoyed it, please make sure you give me a like and subscribe to my channel, and thank you guys for watching. Bye.